guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am actually filming with the BPERFECT Carnival palette. This is Stacey Marie's beautiful palette. I got it a few weeks ago, but I have not touched it. Literally, that thing is still on there. Literally, I don't even think I swatched any of the colors because like they're so pretty. I didn't want to freaking touch them. But today we're gonna dig into this palette, and I'm really excited because today I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm kind of gonna do So when I went to Miami for the master class with Mitchell and Stacy, they do reverse blending, which I'll show you if you don't know what that means. Pretty much you start with your darkest color and work up to your lightest color. But the way most of us do it, which is the way I do it, is I start off with my lightest transition shade, get darker and darker and darker on the outer corner. But they start off with their darkest shade. So today what I wanted to do is I was really sitting there thinking, and I was curious. I'm like, what is I know the difference because the way the colors go on and the way their style, the UK style of makeup is so beautiful. I've said it hundreds of times. So theirs is very vibrant, very pigmented, and I feel like when we do our shadow, or I do my shadow, it's very blown out, soft and smoky. Even though we put those darker shades down, it's not as popped out as when they do it. So today I'm gonna literally do a reverse blend on this eye and a regular blend on this eye. So I'm gonna do it pretty much how they do it in the UK and how I would do it. So if you want to see the difference between reverse blending and regular blending, then please keep on watching. So I already have my base on. I did this off of camera. This highlight, you guys, I hope it's picking up on the camera. Seriously, this palette, first time digging into it. Why did I buy these 3 weeks ago and I haven't even dug into them? I like to save some stuff for filming purposes, but let me just show you how, I literally put light layer on. I'm not even kidding, such a subtle layer, but I'm gonna layer on top of it right now and just show you how pigmented and blinding it is. So I'm gonna take my Y14 by Morphe, and I dug into this shade. It's like a pinky gold, I would say. Look at that. That's literally powder, not even cream or anything to make it that popped. Ugh, I freaking live for highlight. I can never have enough highlight, I swear, never ever. Okay, what I forgot to tell you is actually I already primed, I know you guys know I have my base on, but I already primed my eyelid, but only on this eye. I didn't put Shape Tape, there's a little foundation on this eye, but I put Tarte Shape Tape foundation, Tarte Shape Tape concealer and set it, and then on this eye I'm gonna go in with the Helen E base, which this is what Stacey Marie likes to use. So I really want to test it out and might as well go the full, do the full thing that they usually do. So I'm gonna use this base on the other eye. They don't set their bases. I did set this base, which I normally would. So I'm gonna take some of this on the back of my hand. I've never tried it. I literally just opened it. So hopefully it is nice on the eye. I'm just gonna take it on my beauty blender. Okay, so I have that base on. Like I said, this one's already done. So let's go ahead and dip into some of the shades in this palette. Okay, so today I'm really feeling this section right here of the blues and the mint. So I'm really excited because I really want to dip into this shade this shade first. So that's what I'm gonna dip into right here is this shade. It is called Mood, because that's my mood. Okay, so I cleaned off my brush. It is stained with pink, but this is a JH34 brush. There's nothing coming off on the back of my hand, and I cleaned it as best as I could. So let's dip into Mood. Okay, I barely dipped in. A lot of product came out. So okay, right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do my first 2 steps on this eye and then do my other 2 steps on that eye reverse. So right now I'm starting off with the darkest shade. Again, I didn't set this base. Let me just, make sure there's no creasing. Okay, we're gonna start, and I'm gonna start by lifting my brow and starting right off in the center and just stamping that. Don't worry if it's messy right now. Just stamp it where you want it to be. Oh, by the way, don't worry if it gets all over your eyelid because we're gonna probably carve it out with some concealer anyways, so it doesn't even matter, so don't worry about that. Just be very messy with this part. Okay, now what I went ahead and did is I cleaned off that same brush, which is the JH34 brush, and I'm now gonna go ahead and blend my work out. So literally make sure you take a clean brush and go ahead and blend in soft circular motions just to soften up those edges so it gives you a transition for the next shade up. Okay, now taking a JH40 brush and dipping into this blue shade right over top. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do very light soft circular motions right where I blended that out with this lighter blue shade. Now before we go ahead and move on to the other eye, I'm going to take Mood again, which is that dark navy shade, and just deepen up the color again because we lost it a little bit. So I'm gonna be just stamping it right where it was, just to deepen it up again to bring that color back, so the other blue didn't take over. Now I'm just taking a clean JH40 brush and just softening up the top edges. And yes, I did purposely take it this far up to my brow because I just did. Okay, now that we have those two steps done, I know it took a few extra steps, but I'm saying like those two colors, we did like step 1 Mood, step 2 Sky, blend, 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 whatever. Now, what I'm gonna do is, you know how I started with the navy, which is Mood, and then Sky, which is the sky blue? Now I'm gonna start off with sky blue and work my way down to Mood, which is the navy. So let's see what the difference is. By the way, I'm gonna try to make this look as similar as possible. I don't want them to look different. I want to just see how like the two techniques, you know, are like I just want to see like the end results of like what this eye is gonna look like and what this eye is gonna look like, but at the same time I want them to look the same. Okay, I'm gonna be taking sky blue now on a large fluffy blending brush. This is the JH30 brush. I'm gonna be doing windshield wiper motions because that's what I would normally do instead of just stippling it on. So I'm just gonna go ahead and initially just blend it out. Okay, so I'm taking the color Mood on that M433 brush and getting it coated really well. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stamp it on the outer corner of my eye. I don't know why I said outer, outer corner of my eye, and just deepen up the outer corner, and I am gonna be dragging it into my crease area, but first I wanna build up the pigment I desire on the outer edges before I go ahead and deepen it up in the crease. So this is normally how I would do it in my head if I was recreating the reverse blend. I do still do stamping motions when I am using darker colors. I just think it goes on more pigmented and vibrant rather than going back and forth for that part. Like for the sky blue, you know, I just want to blend it out and get it as like my base. But as far as darker colors, I do think it is nice to go in with like a fluffier brush and just stamp it on the outer edges because I think it gives it the most color payoff. And then I like to also drag it in the crease when there's really not much left on the brush, just to like carve out where I'm going to be putting it. And I like to always lift my brows. I think I say this in most of my tutorials because I feel like if you just go in like this, the brush is so big that it's gonna get places that you don't want it to be. So lifting your brows really helps you with placement in my opinion. So if you've never tried that, I think you should. I think it would really be such a small helpful tip. Now that I have that color placed where I want it, I'm gonna go back into some more product, which is the same navy color, Mood, and I'm just gonna go ahead and deepen it up. You guys, I am very impressed. I don't have any fallout. I don't want to jinx it, but I don't have any fallout. I mean, I am like really hard tapping out like the excess, but I still, usually when I work with dark colors, I have a ton of fallout. Now with nothing left on the brush, I mean just whatever's left on the brush I should say, I'm going to, in circular motions, go right above that navy color and just buff out the edges and try to blend it into that sky blue color. Next, going back to that large fluffy brush that I started out with, I did not add any additional product and I am just blending out all of the edges. So what do you guys think so far? Do they look the same? Do they look totally different? Let me see. I think they look very similar, but I do see a lot of differences. It's like totally different techniques. It's so weird. I don't know which one I'm more comfortable with. I mean, I would say I'm more comfortable with this way because I'm used to like windshield wiper motions and, you know, circular motions and just all that and stamping. Like this side you literally just tap, 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 tap. You know, I don't know. I'm just used to doing my makeup this way. So obviously I am more comfortable, but I love the look of this way. It just kind of depends my mood. I don't know. What do you guys think? Which one would you be more comfortable doing? Reverse blending, or I don't know if you would just say regular blending, but I'm calling it regular blending. See, on this side, I can do soft circular motions, but as if on this side, if I wanted to go on the lid and do like swiping motions, it would skip because I didn't set that concealer, so you're doing it on a wet base. So if you take like concealer, let it kind of dry down, and then go like this all over it, it's gonna be patchy and skip. That's why they do tapping motions, but as if on this side, I set it with a powder, so I could go right over top of that powder with more powder and blend seamlessly without it skipping or getting patchy. But without setting the concealer, the colors come out more pigmented and vibrant, which I could tell the difference because it took me longer to get it to this vibrancy. Is that even a word? Whatever, we're using it as a word. I got it. I had to work a little extra hard to get it this vibrant without setting the concealer versus setting the concealer, if that makes any sense. Next thing I'm going to do is I am going to carve out my crease, but on this side I'm going to be using the Helen E to carve out, and on this side I'm going to be using the Tarte Shape Tape to carve out because that's what I would normally do. So I'm going to be stamping this on, and I'm going to cut the crease in half. I'm going to take it almost all the way, but not exactly the whole way. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that kind of took longer than I expected. I think I'm not used to working with this Helen E base to cut out the crease. I mean, when you put it all over the lid, you just put it all over the lid. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and very lightly stamp right over top of that wet concealer, that navy blue mood shade. Okay, now on a MAC 242 brush, I'm gonna be dipping into this shade right over here. It's like a shimmery teal. It's called Breezy. And I'm gonna be stamping this right starting from where the blue ends until halfway into my eye. And I'm just gonna be tapping it there, right over top of the wet concealer. Make sure for this part you're doing soft tapping motions and not rubbing because the concealer is still wet. So we don't want it to stick to anything. I'm barely touching my skin. Like, my brush is not like, if you're going like this and your brush is like literally bending like that, you don't want that. You want it like literally like that. Whereas if you're not even really touching, you're just barely hitting the skin, not like, you know, making the brush like bend. Now going to a JH40 brush and tapping into Mood and blending the outer edge and bringing some color back in. Okay, now taking another MAC 242 brush. If you don't have another one, just clean the same one off or just use a flat brush for packing glitters on. And I'm gonna be taking this color Moony, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Moony right over here, this white shade. It's like a white shimmery shade. And I'm gonna be packing it on the first half of my eye, where I did not put the blue. Now going back to the 242 brush that I have the blue on, that like teal blue shimmer shade, and just stamping in between that so it blends. Now right over top of that white that I put on the inner corner, I'm going in with this Psoriasis, or however you say it, pigment. It's like a white pigment. I'm gonna just stamp it right over top. Okay, so this eye is pretty much almost done. I mean, I still have to clean it up and do the lower lash line and stuff, but let's move on to the regular blend eye. So next thing I'm going to do is carve out my crease with the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. Same exact way I did on this eye. I feel like there's not like creative ways to cut out the crease. I'm going to take it to the same like amount out as I did on this eye, and I'll be right back because you already watched me carve out this eye. So I'll be right back. So I cut out my crease with the Tarte Shape Tape. I actually found it so much easier to carve out this crease rather than this one. Maybe because I'm not used to the texture of the Helen E base. Well, that's probably for sure why. But the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer is a thicker consistency, so it was easier to, and it's a creamier, thicker consistency, so it was easier to carve out the crease and not get it all blended up with the blue. I mean, there is still a little bit of blue. It literally took me half the amount of time to carve out this eye than this eye. But then again, I am used to carving out my crease with Tarte Shape Tape, and I'm used to the consistency of it, so you know, that could be why, but I just wanted to let you guys know. Okay, so when I did this eye, I did not set the base when I went in with like the navy on the outer corner to blend out the concealer and stuff, and then I went over top of the wet concealer with my blue shade and the white shade. But on this eye, I'm gonna take like a bone shade from this Princess Cut palette and set the base. I wanna see the difference of setting the base versus not setting the base. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this JH32 brush and very lightly set the base. Just tapping motions right over top of it, just to set it. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with the JH40 brush again. Just gonna blend, stamping motions. I would still do this. This is what I normally do, like I said, stamping motions for the outer corner. Okay, already upon setting the base, I could tell right away the difference. Like this blended out so much easier on the outer corner versus this. Look how like much lighter it is when I'm trying to stamp it out on the outer corner to deepen it up. I'm gonna have to work extra hard because I put that light shade over top. When you go right over top of a concealer, I wouldn't like literally carve out your crease and go right on top when it's like literally still like very wet. I would wait like a few minutes, maybe a minute or two, just so it gets a little tackier. So it's not like you're just gonna, if you put your brush on wet concealer, it's gonna transfer on your brush. So I would wait a few minutes, but right going over top of this after setting the base, it doesn't look bad, it's just not as vibrant as this side, which I do like the outer corner of how that looks. So I'm gonna have to work extra hard to try to make that look the same. Okay, now going in with the MAC 242 brush that I put that Breezy shade on, and I'm gonna go in with Breezy and do the same exact steps and put it on the first half of my eye. Now that I set my lid, I don't have to do soft tapping motions. I'm gonna do swiping motions, which I would normally do if I'm just doing regular blend. I'm just swiping. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm very impressed with these shadows because I never go in with a shimmer without having to wet it. And literally look at the color payoff and like the pop of it. I'm impressed. And then going back on the outer corner with the JH40 and just stamping in between just to let it blend itself. And now taking another 242 brush with that Moody white shade that I popped on the inner corner. I like this shade a lot. It kind of gives off like a greeny gold shift, like, but it's like white. I feel like the main shade is white, but it has like a goldy undertone to it. Maybe a little bit of green in it too, so I really like that. I think it gives it a nice shift. So I'm gonna go ahead and swipe this on like I normally would. I do definitely notice a huge difference of vibrancy. We're gonna use that as the word. Is this the word of the day, vibrancy? I hope that's a word. Let's ask Siri. Hey Siri, is vibrancy a word?
All right, here's what I got.
Yes, it is a word, so we're good. So vibrancy, word of the day. Okay, now taking that pigment, where did I put it? Now taking that white pigment and going right over top like I did on the other eye. And I am using that MAC 242 brush, dipping in, tapping it out. I just don't want it to fall all over my face. And then I'm just gonna lightly press over top. Okay, the top of my eyes are pretty much done and complete. I can already tell such a huge difference. Let me know which side you think is amazing so far. Sound off below. But so far, I could tell a huge difference, but I'm not gonna tell you my final thoughts till the end because I wanna do the lower lash line, put some lipstick on, and then we'll be all done. Sorry if this is like taking forever, but I'm really trying to like investigate and see the different techniques and how they work. And it's so interesting to me how makeup works and how like doing something literally this much different can make this much of a difference. So let's move on to the lower lash line and see what happens. Before I move on, I am actually gonna just like really quickly take a makeup wipe and just clean up that edge. I know I'm gonna wipe off some of my makeup, but it's okay. I'm just gonna go back right in with some concealer under my eye. So I'll be right back. I just wanna kind of do that business before I go in to my lower lash line. Look how much better. Okay, since I wanna try another shade in this Mitchell palette, I'm gonna try the shade it's literally called MMMMM. So I'm gonna try this shade to highlight my brow bone before I go in with my lower lash line. You know what I love about these palettes? The mirrors are so big. Just gonna hit the high point of the zebra. Alright, so on my lower lash line on the reverse blend side, we are taking an M433 brush. It's what I used it for the blue already. We're making sure it's not wet because I did kind of clean it off because there was a lot of product on it. And I'm gonna take Mood. I was thinking of doing like the bottom of my eye like a different color, but I don't know, that's not my mood today. Mood is my mood. That joke got old like the first time I said it. Let's go ahead and stamp this on the bottom and hope for the best. I'm just stamping and connecting it to the outer corner. This brush is pretty large, but I don't mind it because I want my lower lash line to be smoked out and blown out. Shit, that's low. I never take my lash line that low. I'm trying to be extra like Mitchell. Okay, now we're taking Sky on a JH40 brush, and I already went ahead and blended out. I don't know if I even freaking told you. I kind of already blended out the lower lash line with just the blue navy shade. Like I went in swiping motions and not tapping to like give it a transition so I can put the sky blue color right under. But I'm kind of gonna go like halfway in between so I don't like look like my lash line is down to my chin, but I'm kind of vibing with it today. Just small circular motions just to blend it. Okay, now we're going to be taking a JH33 brush, which is pretty much the same brush as I used under this eye, but just a clean one. And I'm going to be taking Sky now to blend out the other lower lash line, which I start off with the lightest shade and not the darkest shade. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and do swiping motions, wiping this under my eye with the Sky, that rhymed, and connecting it still to the outer top corners. And let's see what happens. Okay, now what I would do on the regular blend side for the dark shade on that under my lower lash line, I would take a flat definer brush, something like this, and stamp the navy on the outer edges all the way, like halfway in. So I'm gonna do that on this side and see the difference. What I would do is I would stamp this right beneath my lower lashes and not take a larger brush how I did on this side. So we're just gonna stamp this as close to the lash line as possible. Okay, now I'm taking the Sub-Zero palette again and taking and doing it right under my inner corner. I'm gonna do it the same way on each side. Did you guys just hear that? That's my stomach. What the hell? I'm starving. Okay, my eyes are looking like a bald eagle without some lashes, so I will be right back with some lashes and lipstick to finish off and tell you guys my final thoughts. Okay guys, I'm back. Tell me what you guys think of the final looks. Sound off below which eye you think is better. So let me give you my final rundown thoughts on everything. Okay, so looking at my eye, this side is better. The reverse blend side is way better. Let me tell you why. Everything went on more vibrant, more pigmented, and in the end, it just looks more popped out. I like this eye as well. I actually like them both. I just like this side a little bit better. And the reason being is, like I said, the vibrancy. I'm not gonna sit here and be like I'm perfect at reverse blending. I think I still need to work on my skills of reverse blending and get in those like techniques and the way of reverse blending. Versus I'm used to regular blending and just, you know, starting off dark or light to dark, rather than I have to start getting used to dark to light. I thought it was perfect to use the Carnival palette for this look, and I'm so glad I did. This is going in my like top drawer. This is literally maybe the best colorful palette, hands down, that I have ever tried in my entire life. Blended like a dream, literally no fallout. Like when I tell you I get fallout on every single palette, even if I do a bronzy eye, like it's ridiculous how good my under eyes still look. So comment down below what you guys think and what side do you think is more blended, looks prettier, looks more pop, looks more vibrant. Tell me what you guys think down below, and I want to like kind of do a little vlog. I'm going to my cousin's house for his birthday today, so I want to kind of ask everybody which side they like more, which side pops more, which side looks more blended. Do they look the same? Do they look totally different? I want to know their thoughts to get other people's opinions. I'm so scared. Why are you scared? Okay, so I have Gabby here. She doesn't even know what I filmed besides she's looking at my makeup. So I need you to come here and literally investigate my eyes. Like, tell me. Okay, bitch, I hate these sunglasses. Okay, I look like shit. What the fuck? Okay, tell me, excuse the plugs, tell me what, like, eye looks better. Okay. Like, investigate them.
This eye looks better.
Okay.
You highlighted your brow bone. That side's clumpy.
Really?
Okay.
Hey guys, okay, this is my beautiful mom. So my mom doesn't know what I filmed today either, so I'm gonna ask her which eye looks better. Because I use 2 different techniques on both different eyes. So tell me like what you see. Are they the same? Do they look different? You like this eye? That's the winning eye so far, you guys. This is the regular blonde. So this eye, why?
I don't know, it's the way you have it blended.
So this one's blended nicer?
Nicer, yeah.
Okay guys, I have more witnesses. I'm covering the camera. This is Anthony, this is Marina. Okay, they don't know what I filmed either, so tell me which eye you like better.
Your left eye.
My left eye? Okay, so she likes this eye better, but let me see what Anthony thinks. What eye do you like better?
Close your eyes.
Really look.
The right.
The right eye? That's the winning eye so far. So this is the reverse blend. I like this eye too. Okay, yeah, my aunt said they look the same, but but if you stare close, this I did reverse blending and I did it versus like regular blending. So you like the regular blend and you like the reverse blend?
Yes.
Okay guys, but this is still winning. We have 4 on this eye. Okay, Amanda's my last and final person to ask. So which eye do you like better? You don't know what I filmed, so which eye do you like better? Really investigate. And she didn't hear what they had to say, so.
I like this one.
Okay, that's the winning eye, guys. I guess I have to work on my reverse blending. So this is how I would normally do it. This is how they kind of would do it in the UK. So this is my last and final outro. So I'm gonna work. No, you don't. So I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye.